Happy Workers' Day, everybody. So here on the 1st of May, I want to say this. I'm sick and tired, frankly, of walking into a restaurant or going to a counter at the airport, or in fact going anywhere which has a public-facing department of public-facing people, and never seeing white people.
Good morning, guys. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our gorgeous country. See, this is how the Democratic Alliance keeps eating its votes, because you cannot be coming out here talking like you're talking and acting like you acting as far as the Employment Equity Act is concerned, because many people survive because of that act. I'll tell you right now, I know of my family members, or like two of our family members, that have gone through their most in a predominantly white environment, work environment. I'm telling you right now, one of them is in tourism, the other one is a civil engineer, and they were suffocating, and just unfairness and discrimination that if you were to put it in words, you won't be able to. I'm telling you right now, the one who is a civil engineer used to be told on site that she used to be called the drafts lady, make her do the work that is not related. What they do, they don't want to get the exposure that you are supposed to get as a black person. I'm talking about those racist people, especially in the engineering space, and the other family member of ours, she's in the tourism industry. She went through the most in that Cape Town. She ended up coming. I'm talking about super skilled people that we have in this house to get. So we know what people go through, and you want to come in that environment that is still as toxic as ever, that is so full of gatekeeping and trying to make sure that the black people don't get the experience that they're supposed to get, the exposure, the everything. Imagine you are a fully qualified engineer and they're trying to make you not feel it or lose the love for it by telling you that you are a drafts lady. Sana, and you are there working with people that you can tell that most of the time they have no clue of what they're doing. I'm talking about an environment whereby the project will be started by black people, and when it's time for handover, a white person comes. A white person that is not even that skilled will come and sign the project off. By the time you see it, you see their name, and the names of the people that were heavily involved in that project are not there. So I'm talking about things that are happening. Please, if you know what I'm talking about, kindly comment in the comment section. Please, I'm looking forward to reading those. And if you have never experienced that as well, please do comment in the comment section. I would like to read those as well. And the one that was working in Cape Town, they made her Cape Town experience unbearable. Unbearable. Because here's the person that twangs, that does everything, that is so sharp in mind. And I don't know what they don't want also to use your brain to think outside the box. They don't want that. They want to. And they keep these old people right from the apartheid era, like long time ago, that are not moving with the times. They still want you to work in the olden days way. That makes you super less productive. I don't know what is going on there. But let me tell you something. We know what to talk about. Now, you want to come against the Employment Equity Act in that toxic environment. That environment hasn't been purified for us to say, no, let's do away with Employment Equity Act. So what is it? That's how the DA will never cover this kind. I'm telling you. And sprinkle on top of that things like your AFRIFORUM, your Volksstad, your Cape Independence, your Kleinfontein, all of those things, all of those things are the things that will make the DA not govern this country, no matter how good they are administratively. The fact that we know what is going on in the workplaces, you see they just shout their votes right after the vet thing. Hey, guys. Anyway, please do hear what South Africans are saying about this, including the one that's saying, I want to see white people when I get to the airport.
Happy Workers' Day, everybody. So here on the 1st of May, I want to say this. I'm sick and tired, frankly, of walking into a restaurant or going to a counter at the airport, or in fact going anywhere which has a public-facing department of public-facing people, and never seeing white people in those departments, in those positions, be it at a bank, be it at an airport, be it at a public government department, never seeing white people in those positions. I'm sick and tired of that after 31 years of black rule here in South Africa. So here on the 1st of May, Workers' Day, I would like to appeal to all of those businesses to make sure that at least a quarter of the people who work in their restaurants as waiters and as chefs and as cooks and as cleaner-uppers are in fact white people. There are more than enough white people in this country to occupy those positions. In Pretoria alone, there are 90 squatter camps, white squatter camps around Pretoria. So it's about time that we actually drop the bullshit and start looking at an Ubuntu kind of approach to how we employ people in this country and how we deploy people in this country. It's not good enough to have white bookkeepers and maybe even white managers, but at your front-facing departments of your business to be exclusively black. We have to put a stop to that 31 years after black rule here in South Africa. On Workers' Day, that's my message.
I mean, do you ever notice that the people who yell the loudest about reverse racism are the same people who thought that apartheid was just like a little bit of a rough patch, right? Because South Africa is pulling out the big guns. We've got new inspectors for these employment equity laws. And if you're a company with over 15 employees, well, congratulations, because you now have to meet racial and gender targets. And if not, cough up 10% of your turnover. Not your profit, your entire flipping turnover. So in other words, adapt or just go bankrupt, motherfucker. And I mean, guess who's freaking out, right? It's the same crowd who thought transformation was just adding diversity to the company website. Right next to meet our all-white board, right? And listen, it's not completely wrong to be worried. I mean, if you enforce these laws like a toddler, you're gonna wreck productivity, right? Box ticking hirings, fake promotions. I mean, suddenly the head of engineering is the guy who used to clean the toilets. That's not what we're going for here. But also, let's not pretend that the way we're doing things right now is a complete meritocracy, right? Because, I mean, half of Sentence CEOs didn't get there because they're like Steve Jobs. They got there because daddy knew a guy at the club who knew a guy in parliament. And, I mean, the biggest skill it was essentially being born into the right family, right? And the uncomfortable truth is that the law isn't designed to punish white South Africans. It's to finally give everybody else a pair of shoes in a race where one team has been sprinting in Nikes and the other team has been running barefoot with one foot tied behind it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Absurd, right? And if this feels like oppression to you, then maybe you were just not running it fast at all and you were winning and now you're wondering why. I think the only real danger is when it becomes about numbers instead of real talent. Then we're screwed. I mean, new faces, same lazy shit. But I mean, maybe, just maybe, if we do it properly, we might actually build a country where talent wins and not just based on your surname, you know what I mean? So, I mean, look, I think we're finally trying to fix the game. Or we could just be switching out who gets to cheat. I guess only time will tell. So yeah, drop your thoughts and your conspiracy theories, especially if you have a hot take that disagrees with this. I'm really in the mood to argue.
The Employment Equity Act Amendment of 2023. Now, you cannot speak of the amendment if you have not read the original act of the Employment Equity Act of 1998 and then the amendment made in 2014. The reason for that is you need to understand what was the original reason for implementing the Employment Equity Act. Now, the original reason for the Employment Equity Act was to prevent discrimination on the basis of race, color, gender, etc., right? But most importantly, to ensure for the redress that was caused by apartheid in the workplace. Very important. The Employment Equity Act, or the amendment of 2014, employers were asked to provide the Department of Labor with an employment equity plan where they will propose what it is that they will do within the specific sector in order to ensure that there will be a redress of the unbalance created by apartheid, right? So they needed to diversify. They needed to create a plan and say that we're going to have this amount of white management, this amount of black management, colored Indians, etc. They had to propose it. That was 2014. If you look at the amendment is targeted at a specific sector or specific sectors that did not do what it is that they proposed within their employment equity plans. So there are 18 sectors, and the amendment is a redress. It is a redress. It is not a permanent amendment. It is a proposal for a redress over a 5-year period where managerial or senior positions need to be reformed. Because we know when it comes to managerial and senior positions, they are predominantly held by white, Indian, and coloreds. Now, in a country where 60 million people live, of which 50 million of your population is black, and 10 million are white, Indian, and colored, does it make sense that there are still 18 sectors or 18 industries where they have not been able to diversify? They have not been able to implement the plans that they proposed to government in order to ensure that there will be a change within managerial positions. So no, it is not unconstitutional. It is a rectification of the imbalance created by apartheid.